All right, welcome back to my channel, Treasury Analytical. And today we'll be talking about Power BI and we'll be doing an exercise on it. The Power BI is a visualizing tools and you can if you don't have Power BI installed on your computer, you just go straight to the Microsoft Store from your computer. And in the search bar, you can you search for Power BI or you look for it. So it's better you just search for what you're looking for. Power BI. Sorry. Here's Power BI. Power BI desktop. That's what you're downloading. Power BI desktop. Okay. Kind of booting. And from here, I already have it installed. So I believe you should have download or install if you don't have it on your own computer. So I'll just click open. And why this is still loading, and I would like to show to understand the kind of data sets I will be using in this video, so which I already uh, download earlier on, and you can get this data in the description in the link provided below. So I saved my data sets in a folder called Bootcamp Project and Superstore dataset. Okay, so here is the data we will be using in this video. It's a supermarket superstore data. Let me bring this here, which has control down, which has 9,800 rows, and it has check this out, 18 columns, and the data consists of row ID, order date, shipping date, ship mode, customer ID, customer names, segments, and country. Since this data is contain data in the US, entire cities, the state, postal code, region, sales, there are a bunch of things you can do with this data. So right now, I've checked my data and I don't do any much with Excel, and you can do a couple of things on Power BI also. So I'll close the data set and extract to my Power BI. Now my Power BI is open. Now go to get data. I can still close this and get my data. And the data I'm using for this project is not in uh, XLX or Excel workbook. It's in CSV if I'm correct. So let me check again. And the data is in comma separated value file, which is text file. So I'll go to get data and select get data. Where am I getting my data from? I'm getting my data from text slash CSV, and I have my superstore data set here up here. I'll choose that, and the importing wizard will come up. All right, so my data is in a previous state, and I can choose to transform. Maybe I need to do a couple of things with it, or I will load the data straight away, and I can preview the data if I'll be doing anything. Okay, we will be doing something. Let's say try to look up the data and check for errors and other stuff. So I'll click on transform data. So let this to load up to our Power Query editor. And things I like to do in Power BI, just like what I did earlier on in Excel, and to check for my the quality, there is non-value, empty cells, errors, things like that. You can do the same thing on Power BI, which I already have here, which is showing. Okay, you just go straight to the view, column quality, column profile. So I'll start with column quality, which is showing the quality and if there is error in our data by column. I see for these row columns, 100% valid, no empty rows and no valid. And thanks for the color which is giving us better visuals. So we don't need to look at the data, we can just check straight and scroll and we see we have no empty cells or errors in our data set. And the next thing I want to do is column profile. I want to check this and click on column profile. You can find this on the view tab on the ribbon. So I'll click on column profile. Column profile will give us a some analysis of our data, and from here it's showing that we have 1,000 counts and distinct. We have the minimum value here is 1 and the maximum is 1,000, the average. So you can check that for that column also. We have the minimum date is uh, 4th of January 2015, and the max, that is our data range from 2015 straight to, can I expand this, 2018. And we see how the data, the frequency. So we can check for sales also. If we're having 1,000 is because our data set has 1,000 rows, and you can check for the minimum value, the maximum value, and the average. With this, we can have like a couple of things, ideas popping up in our head, and you can check the subcategory to see a couple of things we have there also. Okay, you have a bunch of them. As under subcategory, we can check for category. Okay, we have just three categories, and these three categories can be divided into 17 of them. All right, and I'll just for reference, maybe our data are not well properly formatted, the data formats. So I'll check for this and I'll put it in a fixed decimal number. And if you like, you can put it in decimal number. But for this, I'll put it in fixed decimal number and add new step. You see, we have a step here that is it has add up. On the apply step is where it's showing your step you have taken to arrive to where your data set is, which we have done. If I delete the one I did just now, and it will go back to the way our data was before, which you have 1.2, which is in our decimal place. And I can change my data set name from this property column. I'll call it Superstore. Enter. And when I change this from here, you see it's reflected here also. And let me take my time to explain a couple of things on the Power Query before we move on to the Power BI. On the Power Query, we have the Home tab where you can close and apply after you have input your data to Power Query, and maybe you want to apply and close to move on. And you can change our data source. You can check the recent one. You can enter data. You can do a couple of things. You can append, merge, and move on to transform. So not to take much of our time, there's not much to do with data sets since the data is clean. So you see, we still have our Power BI underneath. So I'll click on close and apply. So this will take just few time for data to load into Power BI. Says they are pending changes in the, okay, it's loading. Superstar, 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 Power BI, Power BI, Power BI, superstar, Power BI, superstar, Power BI. So this will only take a few moments depending on the size of the data we're trying to import. Okay, our data, it has load 9,800 rows, and our data will be applied, load into this tab. We can access our data on this tab, and while our data is still loading, take our time to check all the get data. And if our data we are working with is workbook, we can click on workbook straight away. You can get our data from SQL Server also, and you can also input our data and one link of data bias, the recent source. On the home tab, we can do new measures, which will be trying out in this project. We can do quick measures, new visuals, text box. You know what text box is? More visuals. We can add more visuals. And then on the inserts also, you have a bunch of stuff. You have the button. Hopefully, we'll be using a couple of them. You have the modeling, the view, and on the right hand side, we have our report view, the table view. That's where we can see our data set in table format, what we have here. And that's the loading. We have our model, but in this data, we're only working with one data set. So there's no much to talk about under here. So go back to our table view where we can access our data in a table format. So we check and what can we do here? Okay, okay. I think I have an idea here. And I think a couple of things we can add to our analysis is to see the average time of processing, that is from the time where order is placed to the time it's being shipped from the warehouse or from the store. We can try to check the time frame with in order date and ship date. And what else can we do? All right, let's get right away with the date difference or hours, the time difference between the order date and the ship date. And I want that to be on our data, on our Sparkstore data. So just go to the table tools and click on new columns, because I want it to calculate the time processing time across all the rows in our data set. That is each rows for this row ID here, for this transaction, for this input here, we will be having the processing time for it. Okay. All right. So I'll write few functions here, a few DAX, and it's not complicated and it's not as complex the way you think it is. It's just more like Excel, how you write Excel, but this time we'll be indicating our column name from here, unlike Excel where you just have to type it out also. So I'll call this processing time. Processing time. You can put space, So you have to use underscore processing time. And what I'm trying to do here is to see the gap between the order date and the ship date. And we can use the date diff function that is going to calculate the time difference between those two dates. And dates date diff. Okay, we have date diff here. And it said if you're going to use date diff, we need to provide the date one and the date two and the interval. Okay, let's return the number of units specified in interval. That is our interval between the two input dates. What the interval means is, what are we trying to get? Is it our date? Is it minutes? Is it hours, seconds? All right. So, and I'm trying to, my date one is the order dates. And in Power BI, you need to specify the table, then followed by the table column, the column in the table. So by how to do that, so I have to type out my table name, which is Superstore. Okay, it's already pop up here already, so I don't need to type everything out, even the column name. And I'm trying to bring my order date as the date one, which is order date. I'll select that and followed by a comma. And the date two is also on this data set, which is ship date. So I'll type Superstore pop up also, and I'll select on where ship date, ship date, okay, and comma, and the interval here. You see days we want, minutes, hours, and yeah, we need to make this logic know that the day the order was being placed and the day it was being shipped, we won't be counting the day it was shipped. So in such a way that it only count the day the item was being processed. So the shipping day, that is the Saturday, 23rd of September, won't be count. So we will only be counting from 18th of September 2017 to 22 of September. And we want our the interval, that is it should be in hours, and we close bracket. And since you said we don't want to count the shipping date, that is the date the orders was leaving the warehouse or the store, so we put as we all know, a day is 24 hours, so I'll just put minus 24, and I'll click on enter just like that. So I can scroll. Okay, still loading. All right. So we have our processing time created. All right, we have 96 for that orders that was placed on the 18th. Use 96 hours before leaving the warehouse or the store. All right, we have 96. And from here, we can still change the data type also. You can change the data type. You can do for the rest of the column if you need to. And this should be whole number. Who knows, maybe the 96 hours is having some minutes. So I'll put that in the decimal number, and I want it to be and yes, still loading. And I'll increase, okay, still loading. And when this load, I'll just increase the number of decimal place and turn it to 2, and I'll work on the sales also and in 2 decimal place, so our data will be uniform across. Okay, okay, 2, and I think that won't be necessary because it appears that we don't have a minute in our calculation. So I'll take that out and oh no, I'll just turn it to a whole number. Okay. Please don't forget to subscribe in the for more videos from my channel. So I'll return this back to zero. Okay. Okay. So I will do for sales and I'll be putting sales into decimal place. And the currency, I think we try to do that in our Power Query. I don't know why I changed that. No, you can still go back to your Power Query when we leave this. Okay, maybe we should just do it on Power Query also. And I'll go back to my report view. And from here, you see these three dots, then you right click, then you go, you see edit query, and you have your Power Query back. And you can return this to currency. Okay, so I don't need to do the decimal place. Oh, and I'll just do close and apply again. So to close and to apply what I did. Oh, all right. So the next thing we want to do now is uh, on our report is to check our resolution, our report resolution, and you can do that on the visualization tab. You can do that on the visualization tab in page information. Okay, we can name this. Should we name this yet? No, let's just leave it for now. Page one, page one, and canvas settings, and you can change this. Let's see. Can we work with this? Let me have a better view. Can we work? Okay. Then you need to plan out how your visual is going to be. You can draw it out, and it's okay if you didn't draw it out. Within time, you get you get good in it, and you know what you want to work with. So I'll leave this resolution canvas setting to be in 4 by 3 for now. And the next thing I want to do is I would like to start with KPIs first. Let me move this down here. KPI is key performance indicator. And what am I? What will I? What do I want to put on my KPI? The most important things, and which is number one will be sales. So I can start by selecting a card. Start by selecting a card, and I want to put my sales, that is the total sales, to appear so that my stakeholders can see the amount you have generated month to date or for that particular time. I can change the write up here. I can change it from here under the visualization tab and rename for visuals and I'll call it total sales. Total sales, or you can leave it as sales. Total sales, total sales, and just click anywhere on the screen. And we have our sales to be 2.2 million, and we can do some formatting. And while selecting this chart, you can go to the format your visuals tab under the visualization. And what I want to do here, I want to increase the fonts. Instead of searching, we just type font out, and the values, this category label. And let me see what will change if I change this. Okay, that's for the category label. You can put that in bold, and you can, where's the values? Okay, this is the value. You can increase this. Okay, okay, 50, make it big, and we'll make it bold. All right. Okay, we have our total sales to be 2.6 million, and that's for sales for now. We can do, don't forget, we calculate the time difference between the date the order was placed and when it was shipped out of the store or the warehouse. So we create another KPIs. I'll just copy this and paste. It's okay for you to create another one, but this is just to work faster and smarter. Just copy and paste. Since I will be using the same, I want to use the same font and the styling. And the only thing I'll change in this chart is the sales. On our chart, we have the sales we have here. So I'm gonna remove this out. I'm gonna take this out. And what I want to do is I'll put the processing time. Processing time. And this is appearing in sum total. That's why we're having this bogus. Don't forget that our processing time is in hours. So this like 969 thousand hours. That's what are so called, like, but that's not what we want to make reasons of it. So we look for the average. So on the visuals, where we drop our sum of you see it's showing sum of processing time. So we change that to average instead, and we can do rename also, rename for visuals, and this will be processing time, and wipe this out. Oh, I put average. You can write short form for that, or just write it in full. Average space processing time, and also we need to indicate that is in hours. Just HR and touch anywhere on the screen. We have processing time, average processing time in hours. Oh, we shouldn't have touched that, but it's okay. And uh, the sales is more important than the averaging time. I'll reduce the font of it a bit, and maybe I'll make it 40. 40. You can reduce the label also. You can reduce the label, average processing time, and I'll reduce the font. And you can check, maybe we can our unit to be show values as new standard. I mean, okay. You can check for that if there's hours or so. Just like millions has appeared, you can actually put it in thousands if you like. So I'll put this here for now. Put this here. And one thing you need to see as important charts when you're working with a data set, and it include a time, that is the data set is over time, what's occur over time. To give a proper description of what has happened, uh, we have our order dates and ship dates, and I don't think we have any other dates here. So we use the order date, that is the date the order was placed. So go back to my reporting view, and I want to create a line chart. I can create a line chart. Maybe I'll use a real chart. Well, I'll stick with the line chart. Let me expand this a bit and close this for spacing. And what do I want to do with my line chart? That is sales over time. And we have our order dates, we have our ship dates. The only time you have your dates, if you look at the rest of the our data we have in our superstore, you see they are not having kind of symbol in front of them. And this symbol is indicating that it is a times, it is a date. Excel recognizes as a date. Should you not see your dates having this calendar right in front of it, just know that it's not properly formatted, and you can go back to your Power Query, and you can change the data type for it on that. And these are dates. You see, we have a calendar logo on the tab, on the column, and are they being this our dates column, and it's having ABC. You just touch the screen and you see the drop down. You can check for dates, and if it has time, and if it's just time duration, just correct it that way. But we didn't do anything, so I might just close this Power Query. Okay, I'm using the order date. And if you click on the drop down, and we still have date hierarchy, and we have the year, the quarter, the month, the date. We can select the date, the order date, and take out any else we want. And maybe we want our data to appear in day only, or it should appear in a month. But I'll leave that for now and see how it goes. And I'll select for the axis. I'll select the order. So I'm gonna select or drag and drop the sales. You can drag and drop on the y-axis on the visual tab, or you drag it and drop on our chart. Still work either way. All right. So I have my dates, my charts of sales over time, which is spanning from 2015 straight to 2018, and you'll see our performance. It has improved over time and skyrocketed from 2016 down to 2018. And do I want to leave my chart in this way? I wanted to have more clear understanding of how it works. So I can go back to my data hierarchy and remove a couple of things. Maybe I'll remove, or you can still drill down also. Maybe I'll remove the date or the month or the quarter. But for now, maybe you want to leave it down so we'll be able to drill down. And now we just drill down to quarter and quarter one, quarter two, but it's not showing it for each year because it has put everything together. So when I drill down again, and we have January down to December. Don't forget, this data is spanning from 2015 to 2018. So it has calculated all the January for 2015, January for 2016, 17 down to 18. Sum everything up here, but that's not what we wanted here. And one way you can still view for date, and the day is showing one for Monday, maybe Monday. That's a couple of things you could have look up to in data, and try how we can process our data better. But this is just for a beginner, so we'll go back to our order dates and what we want. We uncheck everything, and we only want for year and month. In this way, we have our year and the month being aligned, as in they are being together. That is for January 2015, you see we have another January 2016, which our data is spanning across. Okay, so I might reduce this size for now, and look, I have to reduce the size of the text and the values in this chart also. So I'll leave this and drag this up a bit. And don't forget, we can still change our title here by just going to for the sum of sales. You can just put sales instead of that, and we go to rename for visuals. Touch anywhere on the screen, and also rename. Do we have okay? Show item with no data, no quick measures. Remove field. Okay, we can we? No. All right, we have our line chart showing sales performance from 2015 down to 2018. So I'll drag this up a bit. And in our data, we have the country, the city, the state. You can actually visualize and say which state is are performing and which one are underperforming. So go back to my report view, and I want to create a map. There are two maps here depending on the kind of data we want. So let me select this for now. And what do I want to visualize? I want to visualize the sales performance for each locality, that is for state. So I'm gonna bring, we have city, we have country, do we have state? Okay, oh, we have state. So I'll select on state, and what am I doing here? Is just states and sales. So I'll select for sales also. No, and you see the one with the bigger bubbles is showing they're having uh, a large performance. They're having strong performance, higher sales value there. And our data is still showing 147 decimal place. That's two decimal place, and for here is having four decimal place. These are a couple of things you could have checked out on our Power Query. We can still do it on our table. The sales, okay, the toolkit is showing that way. So you can format that also from the from the settings. Okay, I won't be using this chart. Let me check for the other one. Okay, this is showing blue all across, and it's not making any sense. But we can format that under our format visuals and fill color, and we use conditional formatting to do that. And I will want to use a gradient. We can use set of rules. I'll use a gradient and it says when the lowest should be the red and the highest will be the blue. So I'll click on OK. We can add the middle color if you want and summarize count of states. No, we want it to be sales, not states sales. Sum of sales, yes. And click OK. And that should reflect. All right, that reflects on our chart. But let's see the other charts. We just stick with this other chart. Look, not just appealing, it's more concise and not too clumsy. So I'll shrink this a bit. And shrink this also a bit. We're still trying to bring out some insight before we create our dashboard. Okay, what next should I can I do here? Okay, I can see region. Okay, region. I can see their performances. I can see region and their performances. So I'll be using a star column chart to visualize that and check for dates. And oh, Control Z, sorry, you change the data there. We're creating a new chart. Okay, and here I want to see performances of each region. Performances of each region. So I'm selecting region and sales. Okay. From our visuals, we see that the West is the top performing, and I can still format my data to make more sense. So I will do just like I did for the line charts. I'll rename for visuals, and I'll call it sales. Okay. Anyway, we have sales here now, which is the title is sales by region. And what else can I do here? I can still do I'll take out this axis and put the data label. So visuals, the x-axis should be, oh sorry, the y-axis instead. Um, okay, title, take out the values. And what do we want to do now? The grid line. We don't want the grid line, so we just go for the data label, and we have which is formatted in millions, but it's showing in decimal place that is 0.0. So we put that in thousands, series, position, values, where's this, values, values, okay, display units, and which is around thousands. And then we have thousands, and we can still, not done with that, we can still format a couple of things here. You can make your label to be inside or outside or bottom, but we want it to be at the top or the decimal place. We can take out the decimal place. Yes, 700k. And what else can make the values bold to be more visual? Let me increase this font, and I will do for the x-axis also. And I'll increase this. Let me say 11 and bold. And okay, just unless you want to do too much, you can do it to your preference. And we have the region and their sales performance, and we can still do average processing time for each region. So since I have region in this chart, so I can just copy and paste the charts and bring it down so we have the different. So I'll take out the sales, and I'll be selecting the processing time. And this time we have to change it back to average also, average processing time, and see the region that they ship their order quickly. And this is not going the way I planned it in my head. Let's see. And let's check. It's in thousands, and can the value field, the value field, data level, value field. The time, value field, unit display. Yes, unit display. New display. Okay, display unit. No, cloud. Just type it here. So yes, glove type it out here. And this number month we are looking for this actually, and we want it to be none. Maybe that will work. And can we do? Uh, you know, we have to do perform some calculations so we can create a new measures and for us to be able to bring up the idea I have in my head. So let's see, maybe that will work out. The average processing time. In another measures, and I'll call this AVG, short form for average, underscore PT, processing time, and the functions average, open bracket. I'm using measures I've already created. Can I use that? Can I use that? Okay, we have processing time. So average processing time. Superstore, average, processing time, and close bracket, which it should appear here. And where is it? Is our average processing time. Insert. Okay, this is up here. And on this chart, I'll take out the processing time since you're looking for average time of processing by region. Specification really matters when it comes to Power BI, the fastness of how it operates. So I'll take out the processing time from this chart and I'll replace with AVGPT, that is average processing time. Oh, that still have the same. Let me check average PT. No, let's try this on a table so we see if what we are working with is correct or not. Average processing time. So I'll bring up a table and I'll select region, I'll select processing time, and I'll select just to see the difference and average PT, which is average processing time. And I'll be changing this on this. Okay, it's in measures, so I can change it. And I'll change this to okay, it's different. It's different. This is sum total. So what we did initially is actually correct, but just to take note. So 73.58 hours, and if we actually calculate it, that's like 3 to 4 days. That's the average time, which is almost the same thing we have here. So which shows that it's correct. So I'll delete this table and I'll bring that is all the region, and the one with the lowest average time is the west and the east, and the central actually take a long time to process their shipping out. And I want to rename the average time here also, rename for visuals, and I'll call this average for informative sentence case, average processing processing time. Click on OK. All right, average processing time by region, and we don't need to format this because we have We use the same format we use for this previous chart. All right, I have one, two, three, four, and we haven't bring insight on our products. So I'll create another. I'm bringing my focus for notification. Okay, still on. Another page, and this time around to do insight on our products, and I want to see the categories. And don't forget, we are doing the composition of them. So we'll be using a pie or donut. So I'll go for the donut chart, and I want to see which category is giving us more sales. So I'll select the category, and I'll select the sales. All right, so we have, and the same thing I did here, I can still do it in this manner. Okay, this double. Let me rename this to page two, page underscore two. Can copy. I'll copy this just to save time. I want to be doing my formatting every now and then for all the charts, and paste this here. Okay, I'm trying to create this using this format. So I want to check everything I have here, and since I'm working with sales, I'll leave sales and I'll select category, and I'll change this to a donut. See, so I'll start finding my way. I will get here. I have everything ready. The font, the boldness, everything is ready. So I'll delete this, and it's not. I'm not done yet. I still want to do for the subcategory also, and I want to see the top selling subcategory. From here, we see we made 705. That's 31.91% of our total sum, which is the blue color, which is office supply, and the top performing category is the technology. So I want to continue from there and create for subcategory, and this time around, and I won't be using a column. I won't be using a donut chart. Rather, I'll be using a stack bar chart. Is it? And I'll be and check the category out, and I'll be selecting the sub. I'll just search for it. Sub category. Okay, we have how many of them? And we can do filter, we can create measures, and I'll just stick to here, and I want to create a filter to be showing the top 10, or you can still leave our data. Maybe you can scroll. Okay, it's not too big. You can top selling, sales by subcategory. Okay, this visual is okay. And for the axis, you can change. Okay, subcategory. We can remove this axis since we have our data that it is labeled already. So I'll go to my formatting. I'm removing the X axis. I hope I'm not mixing this up this time around. So I want to, okay, I'll move this and title. Yes, remove the title. And I want to do the same for the Y axis also. We don't need that. Take out the value. No, not the value. Which are six, which is enough to create a dashboard. Okay, let me see how I can put all of this together, and I will like to create a title for my dashboard. I'll create another another page, and I'll call this our dashboard. Okay, and this down a bit, and I want to do the canvas settings. And this should be, let me see, can make this, let's see the big one. Okay, later. Can we use later? Let's use later. And I want to do insert, add a text box where I can type out the title of my dashboard. And I'll call this, let me change the font, make it bigger. You can always change the size of it later on. Now I'll call this Superstore Dashboard Analysis. You can still show up the just how much since 2015 down to 2018, if I'm correct. So we need to reduce our font. We need to reduce our font so it can contains everything. Let me give it 82 and we spread this out a bit. Spread this out. Spread. For more space, I'll take out this all of this and even spread that analysis correctly. And okay, I'll make this bold and increase the size a little bit. Okay, 36. Let's see. Can change the font. Can we since we use the line, let's use the also here. And okay, we can still make it bigger. You can put it to your set it to your own preference. So again, not done. Want to align this center and I can move this to the center of my dashboard just like that. I can still change the color, test color, make it blue, 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 blue. Okay, we have it. All right. First thing I want to bring on my chart. Don't forget our KPIs. So I'm taking this two KPIs. So I like two of them and copy and straight to my dashboard and paste. So I have these two here now, and I can make them the way I want it now. There will be no space for us. So bring this a little up here, and we can actually put this in a box also, just to make it more appealing. But I won't be doing that here. Just go straight to the dashboard. Okay, can make it more bigger. And the next thing I want to do is I'll bring the map and the line charts. Maybe we'll be dropping them there at the end of the day. But let's go on. Copy and paste straight to the dashboard. And I will put this beside them. You can expand it to the end just any way you want it. And I'll go to the view so I can wrap the green line, and by this it will make me to align my charts evenly on the same line. So I'll bring this up a bit and do the same for this chart likewise. And one thing we can still do, we can add the background. Okay, we have our chart, and let's maybe we can still do background. That's our canvas page, canvas background, and we can give it. Let's give it. Uh, mm, let's give it this. All right. Canvas background is not applying. Canvas background and color red. Okay, transparency. Okay, so we have our background, and let's slide it a bit. Okay, it's a bit. Now let's change it to hash. Okay, all right. We have two, three, four our charts, two KPIs and two charts, a line chart and a map chart. So I'll bring the sales by region and average processing time, and I'll highlight these two, copy, paste straight to dashboard, Control V. And when you highlight two items and paste it to another page, try to touch just the surface of this of the page so they won't stick together. Won't be highlighting both them. So you'll be able to move each. I'll put this on this side and reduce a bit, and I'll bring the sales by region. Okay, expand this a bit, and okay. And we could have bring this every time anyway we want it. So it's design. So there's design, then we copy this also, copy paste, and to the dashboard, Control V. So I think this time I'll be shrinking this a bit. I think we don't have more charts on our table. Let's see the one we can get rid of. And we can get rid of the average processing time. We can, yes. Reason why, because you can use slicer to get more info on that. And since we have our average processing time here, it will still give us the information we want. Just that we can't see them side by side. But we already know the average is 71. So the standard deviation won't even be more than, it can't go beyond 76, and maybe like 65 or so. We know it won't go beyond that. And I can rearrange this now, make this a little bit smaller to contain, to give me more space, give me more rooms. And bring this down here. You can add more than two KPIs. And bring this up a bit. This and sales by region. I use the arrow key to give me the precision I want. And I'll bring this and reduce the size also. Okay. And I'll reduce this so it can align with the rest of the charts. All right. And I can remove background for all the charts in such a way that it will be more appealing when we add the background colors of our dashboard. Can do okay background, and let's take this color this time around. That will look cool with the blue color we use. Let me choose this, and the transparency this up a bit. I'll reduce it, and let me start with this. Our dashboard is ready, so it's just some little touch and visuals, category label, general, properties, effects, and background transparency. You can increase this. Now, this is what I'm talking about. Now, do for the rest of them, general, background transparency. Also, do for the rest of my chart, general, effects, and at the same time we can even change the color of our chart, the background of the chart, not the dashboard. So I'll take this out also and do for this. Okay, and now I can remove the grid line. Okay, still have this title one second, the title effects and transparency. Okay, we have that, and now we can look for a better color instead of this because it's not looking appealing. So let's look for a better color, and I'll use white this time around. uh, Canvas background, make it a white color. Oh great, now we didn't create space for sliders. Okay, we still have room up here, and I'll make this KPIs a little bit bigger and bolder, and so I'll bring this to the side because this is really want to make more emphasis. And now I want to create a slicer. We go to our visualizations and locate for slicer. And the first thing I want to do, because our data span form is a time data, so we'll create the one for time first, and we can use year. We have a couple of things we can do. So I'll just use for year only, for year only, and let me format this a bit. I know can still bring it a little bit smaller. There. Okay, that doesn't really matter. So I'll copy and paste this also, but we didn't format it, so it doesn't really change anything. And this time around, instead of dates, we want to select the region this time, just like I said earlier on. Select the region, okay, and I can go to my slicer settings because here is our list, and I'll select our slicer tab. I'll make it a drop down. Let me check if I can do same thing for my date, and between is cool. And can we do drop down? We can do drop down. I'll leave this like that. And now, just like our pivot table in Excel where we create slicers and to be interactive, here we don't even need to use this pivot because everything here is going to interact with each other. And when I drag this a bit, see all our data are changing, still loading. All right, it has changed, and we see some changes in our data. Phone is still top here, and we see some. Okay, let's see where this laser is even affecting. I go to our synchronized laser, and it is working. Advanced option, and okay, let me see for region. We click on central. Okay, we see everything that's happening in central region. You can check for west, see the total sales, the average. It's not showing here. And okay, let's check for full year. And we have for west. And share is the number one subcategory here. And no, there's not much differences is happening under the subcategory for the in the west region. Let's check for other region also. Let's check for east, and you see our charts, our map actually change, and you can still see details, couple of details, and phone is the top seller here, and our average processing time is 69, which is more faster than any region, I think. Okay, 71, and the sales. All right, and we can do for from what time to what time, what we just do for 2018 only. This will happen in 2018 in West only, in West only, in West region. Don't forget about the slicer, and you can clear our slicer by clicking this clear selection, and do drag this back to its beginning. All right, that's that on Power BI dashboard creation. And don't forget, you can still share this to your Power BI service. Close this, close this also, close this. All right, if you enjoying this video, don't forget to subscribe. All right.